you're watching this, it's probably because you've been online and you're searching for how to replace leaky windows in the Jeanneau range. Maybe different ranges, but certainly the Jeanneau range. My name is Phil Simmons. The reason why I put this together is because I've researched over the last 5 months a problem that I had in the windows. So I had two sets of windows that were leaking, and been basically researching how to manufacture new ones and fit them. The boat is a Jeanneau Sun Odyssey 42 DS. It's a 2008 model, so it's about 15 years old now. It has, like all of them, some impacts with the weather, with the UV light and so on. And of course the UV has impacted the bonding between the windows and the boat itself. Now, if you've been following or been looking for this, you'll probably see that in the PBO, the Practical Boat Owner, they put an article together a few months ago concerning lemon and lime, and this is then a follow-up which is really stating the problem and the solution I've found to fixing the windows. I've tried to make this not a very boring topic, so you'll forgive me if I tend to go on a little, but certainly I want to get to the point where if you're interested in doing the job yourself, you can do this with some degree of fearlessness. So the problem statement is that the two front windows show signs of degrading around the bonding. That's let water in. I had a small leak to begin with, but we've been away for 4 months around the Med, and the leaks got progressively worse, to the point where when it rained, or even when we were going through some bad weather, we'd have 3 or 4 bowls, washing up bowls of water coming into the boat, which obviously is unsustainable. So this is a question of how to get the windows out, get them remanufactured, manufactured new ones, and then cleaned up and then reinstalled. There are 3 videos in this set. One is, as I said, the removal. The second one is the cleanup and preparation phase, and the third one is the installation and testing out. There's obviously, I want to mention a few of the people or businesses or products that have gone along. There is no sponsor payment at all with this. I've done this out of just investigation myself and trying to make it a little easier for other people. But the companies, obviously, I've used Sikaflex products, which most of you all know. In the videos, I've shown you the different sorts. PBO, Practical Boat Owner, they've been extremely helpful and very interested in the trajectory of how to fix the problem. Aymar, which is a chandlery in Spain, just over the border in Ayamonte, and Sopramar, which is a company in Portugal down in the Algarve, which has helped me source some of the materials. So that's the basic the basic list to begin with. Second point is how long does it take? So the process time for this, remember that I had an elapsed time because I had to get the windows out, I had to get them remanufactured or manufactured, then I had to get them put back in. But I had to do the research to start off with, and the last 5 or 6 months has been trying to find suitable manufacturers. I've been pretty much all over the globe. I've been over to Australia, I've been to America, to the UK, a couple of places in the UK. But as it happens, no one really has direct replacement windows. So I was looking for, basically to quote, I have this boat, this model number, this date, can you provide me some windows that fit? Nowhere other than Jeanneau had these particular windows. And the reason why I moved away from Jeanneau is, well, there's 2 reasons. One is because on the starboard side, they're no longer producing the eyelash windows that you see on the side of the boat. On the starboard side, there are no windows available. So I have to go to a manufacturer at some stage to be able to replace the windows. The second point is they're very expensive from Jeanneau, and I'm a manufacturing guy at heart. I spent most of my time advising manufacturing businesses, and I worked for a number of years with BP in their aerospace division producing wing structures. So I got an idea about how you manufacture through molds and so on, and it didn't seem a reasonable price for me. So I went away from that and I looked for a local manufacturer. I managed to find one, and they're in Portugal with me down in the Algarve. I'll come back to them in a while. So preparation time, 2 days to cut out, and I'll explain why. 2 days to clean up and prep the windows. There is a serious amount of preparation goes into them before you put them back in, and it can't be rushed. And then the third part of it is the installation, which again took 2 days. So 2 days to put, 1 day to put the windows in and bond them, and then another day to put the periphery Sikaflex around it. Throughout the videos, you'll see the materials that I've been using. The important one for this one right at the start is you need to get those materials beforehand. You can't get halfway through the job and realise you've run out of Sikaflex. So for the 2 windows, pretty much to the end of the tin, each tube was 4 tubes of Sikaflex black, so the bonding when the windows are in the surface of the boat, and 2 tubes of white Sikaflex for the periphery. So that's basically 2 tubes of black for a window, 1 tube of white. They're 295 UV Sikaflex. You need lots of masking. The important thing about the masking is this Sikaflex gets absolutely everywhere. And also the primer, it didn't behave like I thought it was going to behave. So you do need lots of masking in there. Alcohol for cleaning the windows, and acetone for the rest. But you can't put acetone near the plexiglass, it would damage it. The most important bit here is at the end of doing this exercise, your boat has to look as good as it did when it came out of the factory. With the exception of the black frit, that's the dots around the edge, this boat actually now looks as good as it did when it came out of the factory. The materials that I've used have been upgraded because obviously time's moved on in the last 15 years, so upgraded materials. And the plexiglass that has been molded as actually a perfect fit. So it has to be that when you finish this job, your boat has both mechanical and aesthetic integrity. You want to hold the value of the boat. You have to be sure that if you're selling it on to somebody else that they're not going to drop out or damage the boat any further. I would say that at the end of this, I was very satisfied with the end result. I thought the molder had done a particularly good job in the shape, the form and fit of the windows, and the process by which I went through it. Thanks to other people as well. There are other videos online that described how to use the materials. Put it all together, and it was actually a really good job. In terms of cost, the windows clearly are the most expensive part. Jeanneau were quoting about 1,400, 1,500 each window, plus delivery, plus tax. By the time you finish that, you're up at 2,000 a window. The windows from the guy in Portugal, including the moulding, so the moulds are my moulds now. The moulding was 3,000 for the whole sets of the windows. Now the number that I just quoted from Jeanneau were just the front 2 windows. So you're up at 4,000 euros just for the front 2 windows. I'd managed to get the whole set for 3,000, which includes the 2 eyebrow or the 4 eyebrow windows around the edge. They're yet to be manufactured and put in place, but you can see that I'm in front. Now, the cost of the mold, my cost was also including the cost of the moulding. We believe that if other people were interested, the cost of the moulds would be off that price, and we're talking about 1,800 for 2 windows, 2 front windows, which is substantially cheaper than as half the price of Jeanneau. They don't come with the black prepped edges. You do have to do that yourself. The materials that went into it, the Sikaflex activator, the Sikaflex primer, is quite expensive. By the time you've finished with the number of tubes of Sikaflex 295 you're going to need, you're probably up in an order of about 500 euros for all the other materials that go into it. Obviously, they're consumable products, so you're not going to get those back. You'll need to buy tools as well, so you'll see on the videos that there are tools you need to purchase too. It's not a cheap exercise, but it has to be a decent job when you're finished. You'll see from the process that my windows were out the boat for about 3 weeks. One of the things that we needed to do was obviously keep the water out, so tarpaulins over the top, well taped down. You will then have to remove the gum that comes from those when they go into the sunshine. I'm afraid the gum sticks to the boat, so you've got a hefty job trying to remove those with acetone and some serious scrubbing. You'll also see throughout the videos that I've had a number of people coming in and helping out. They are friends that I've press ganged into doing this, and of course my wife Irene. Some of these jobs are not single person jobs, and there's no way around it. You're going to need an extra pair of hands. Obviously in the preparation of the spraying and stuff, you can do that yourself. So hopefully you've got a friend on hand when you need them.